Yeah, this is a subject I think needs to be talked about because grown males and females that can absolutely use their words, but because they don't know how to, revert to this tactic. And this goes in your business relationships, at your 9 to 5 job, in your careers, your relationships with romantic partners or significant others, whatever you want to call them. I personally don't like the term partner because I'm not a partner to a woman in my relationships if I'm in a romantic relationship with her. But ghosting has really become the first resort. It's not even the last resort anymore for many people. Oh, if you don't want to talk about it, oh, you just ghost them. You know, what exactly is ghosting for anybody that doesn't know? Maybe, well, ghosting somebody is just completely disappearing. You know, you Chinese Communist partied yourself from the relationship or the business relationship altogether. You just completely disappeared. And it's not because you were in a toxic relationship necessarily. It's because you were a coward and you didn't have the courage to really say what needed to be said and to do what must be done. And a lot of people are doing this kind of stuff nowadays. Just ghost them, just ghost them, just ghost them. Everywhere you look, people are just ghosting people left and right. And then we wonder why people can't deal with their emotional issues and traumas. It's like because people don't even know their own emotional selves. They don't even know how to manage their own emotions. They don't know how to really feel the pressure and move forward. I'm somebody that knows how to feel pressure and move forward. It will suck. Like, there are times where it will absolutely suck, but I'm not going to just run away from my problems, because I know that you can never really run away from your problems. Your problems will follow you, because if it's an internal problem, that's not going to go away. Okay? I have yet to see anybody throughout nearly like 175 people that I've talked to around the world at this point in consultations. I have yet to see anybody truly run away from their issues or problems that hasn't caught up to them in some way, shape, or form. And you can't ghost your problems. Okay, this is not a... Okay, this video is going to be a big boy and a big girl video, okay? You cannot run away from your issues. You cannot run away from your problems. If you think you can, I mean, go for it. Try it out. See how far you can get. See how far you can get in your life before... It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen a month from now. It may not happen a year from now. But some years down the line, it may happen where all of those problems finally catch up to you. You know, somebody in my family once told me, I won't say who it was, but somebody in my family once told me when I was asking them about this secret that was in my family, because apparently there was a secret, and everybody denied that there was a secret, but I knew that there was a secret. And when I was asking this person about it, they told me that they would take it to the grave and there would be nothing to be said about the topic. Now, I was a grown man at this point, asking questions about what happened and why things are the way they are. This is what happens when you just ghost your problems. They end up becoming generational curses in some sense. Like, that's a possibility. And so there's a verse in the Bible that says the burdens of the sins of the mothers will be put onto the children. It's in like Hosea, I think. And what that really is saying is that the sins of the mother and father, it's not necessarily your sins as a child, but the sins of the mother and the father are going to be transferred over to the child as the burden of the sin. So they're going to have to deal with the burden of the sin, not necessarily the sin itself. Well, why is this important? Because when you ghost your problems, when you ghost the people in your life, that connection never really goes away. And I'm not saying that you need to force somebody to give you closure, but there are going to be times when you need that closure and you need to say what you need to say. Sometimes you just need to do what you need to do. And there are going to be people that do not like what you have to say, and that's okay, because you're going to have people that say things that you might not like to say or to hear. But what matters is if you can actually work through it and you can actually talk about it. The people that have always been in my life, that, like, it's like the people always seem to never want to talk about things. They always seem to just want to skirt around the issues. It's like, yep, there's a dragon underneath the couch, but nobody say anything. If you say it's a dragon, then it's all hell's gonna break loose. It's like, well, all hell is already in the house. There's a freaking dragon under there. Like, what are you guys talking about? And God is the author of clarity, not confusion, right? So anybody that tries to bring confusion into your life, they're from the devil. They're an agent of Satan, and they're an agent of wickedness. And so you've got to be mindful about who you're actually trying to talk to about things, because I'm not necessarily saying that you need to ghost, but there are some cases where you just need to walk away from a situation. Okay? Now, ghosting and walking away I see as two different things. Because if you are walking away from somebody, if you're walking away from something, if there's like disrespect or anything like that, that's one thing. But if you're walking away just because you don't want to confront an issue because you're a coward, shame on you. Shame on you. I cannot tell you how many times I've had to have difficult conversations where the first time I really had a difficult conversation that I did not want to have, but I felt like I needed to say this. Like I needed to say something. And I was it was like I was taught to go against my instincts, and I was taught to go against my intuition for so long that finally letting out and trusting my instincts was more frightening than the alternative, because I just wasn't used to it. And so when I finally had that conversation, and it was with somebody in my family, it was like, hey, there's a dragon. Like, let's, we should probably slay that dragon. Nope. Everybody wanted to play dumb. Everybody wanted to play stupid. Nobody wanted to confront the dragon. It's like, well, the dragon's eating shit all over the house. Like, the dragon's, like, that dragon is not eating rainbows and pooping lollipops. The dragon is eating people and letting things completely fry. Okay, like, things are not, like, the house is on fire and there's a dragon, and you guys want to pretend like there's nothing going on, like there's nothing wrong. Are you serious? But this is what happens when you have a generation that wants to just ghost. And I do think that it started with the generation ahead of mine, which I'm 28, so I'm like on the verge of a millennial / Gen Z. Like, I guess technically I'm a millennial, but either way, it's like the generation from the 70s and 80s, it's like those were the people that raised the just coming into adulthood now kind of people. And there's a specific quality that I've noticed about everybody. It's like they just don't know how to confront people, and really, like, they're just too soft in their soul. And there's a lot of filth in the bottom of their souls as well. They don't have the domain of clarity to be operating from the places that they're operating and the places in society that they're operating. These people are influential people, some of them. Like, some of these people just should not be in the positions that they are. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen recently, like, there's this, I don't know why it popped up on the algorithm here on YouTube, but something popped up on the algorithm. It was like, how I spend like $5,000 a year or whatever or sorry, how I spend $5,000 a month in such and such city on my apartment. This person was obviously like deranged, very materialistic, okay, very, very vain. And yet this person is just like living it up. Somehow this guy's got like hundreds of thousands of followers just talking about where he lives. Like and then these are the kinds of people that can't confront themselves. And then you've got people like you and I who are willing to work hard, that shoot straight. You know, we're straight shooters, we're direct, we're truthful, we have integrity. And somehow, because we have communication skills, it's like people in the world frown upon us because we're willing to have the conversations that other people aren't. They just want to ghost. And it's just like this cesspool of degeneracy. It's just a cesspool of misunderstanding. And the only antidote that I can see is for people to actually confront themselves. You know, this is the antidote. Face your trauma. Face whatever it is that you do not want to talk about. Have those hard conversations and be willing to accept that it's a difficult conversation. And you don't need to say like, oh, this is a difficult conversation, I know this is going to be difficult, because that's just going to make it worse. Just say it. Just say what you need to say. Speak your mind. The world would be a much better place if people just actually said what they thought. You'd be amazed at like your instinct and intuition if you just listened to it. If you're in a situation and you just listen to your instinct and intuition, you'd be amazed at what not overthinking can get you and can lead you toward. It can lead you to a much better state of mind. Whenever I have a conversation with anybody nowadays, I don't look back and I think, oh, I should have said this or I should have said that. It's like, no, I said exactly what I needed to say, because I was operating from a place of presence and being in the moment, and I was being who I was in that moment. And I'm not going to betray who I was for the sake. Now, it's not to say that I can't learn from that. It's not to say that there's nothing to learn from it and I couldn't have spoken in a better manner necessarily, because that's probably accurate in some ways. Like even this video, there's probably things that I could be touching on that I could think about down the line that I'm like, oh yeah, that would have been nice to touch on. But I'm not going to say, oh, I should have done that. Because then when I say the word should, when I should have done that, what I'm really doing is discounting the credibility of my past self. And why would I do that? Why would I discount the credibility of my past self? If you think to yourself, man, what was I thinking there? Like, what was I thinking? Well, maybe you weren't thinking. Maybe you were giving in to fleshly desires. And maybe, just maybe, you were trying to build something and you failed. Like, failure is a possibility. That's what a lot of people don't like about confronting these kinds of situations and conversations. It's like the possibility of losing the relationship is there in these conversations. But the thing is that the longer you stay in it without confronting that dragon, the more the house gets burned. And then meanwhile, you're going to have nothing in the house. You're going to be living in a fried, like you're going to be living in a fried house with a huge dragon that's eating people's souls. And you just want to carry on like you're in a fairy tale that is not in reality. I don't know about you, but I want to be in reality. And sometimes reality sucks. like that's just the reality. The reality is sometimes the reality sucks. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth living. And that doesn't mean that it won't pass. That's what a lot of these other people don't seem to get about this kind of stuff. It's like, if you just ghost people, you just ghost. I mean, you guys get the point. I think I've said as much as I want to say about this topic in this video, but I thought it was something that ought to be addressed. And with that, with that being said, people, I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and peace be with you. Till next time.